Okay. The Tower card is the 16th card of the Major Arcana. 1 plus 6 is 7, and that is the Libra ruled house of your partnerships, relationships, and how you identify who you are through your relationships with others. It also speaks to counseling and dealing with open enemies. That's just the numerology of the astrological houses. Now, let's talk about the coloring for a minute. The background color is black, which reminds me to tell you that it is always darkest before dawn. The clouds in the background also make me want to inform you that there is silver lining in every situation. Sometimes you just have to work harder to see it than at other times. Now, the Tower card as a major arcana represents the planet Mars. Mars is, or has, moved into Aquarius, which is your 6th house. The 6th house is your house, Virgo. It's the house of your daily schedule. It's the house of work and health. It's the house of the competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. Now, with this being the underlying theme or the overarching energy of the second half of November, it could be that there is a real drive in that area of work, or there could be a real sexual drive as well, because Mars does represent drive. But as this being a major arcana card, it represents either a profound discovery or like a crisis point or a point of action, a time for action in some way. Could be that it's speaking to this full moon being the initiation point of a time for action in your work or health sector, Virgo. Like I said, Mars moved into Aquarius, which is the 6th house, which is the house that you govern. So, it could be that you are undergoing either some work or some health changes, or will be soon. Okay, that was the underlying theme, the overarching energy. The first card that I pulled for you that represents the present situation is the 7 of Cups in reverse. The 7, once again, Libra ruled house of partnerships, identifying who you are through your relationships with others. It's counseling and dealing with open enemies as well. Dealing with the cups, the cups represent water signs. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This giant cloud in the background, it's like, well, it makes me think that there's silver lining in the situation. It's probably a very emotional situation because the background color is also blue. It feels like somebody is in the dark on something. A partner in some way is in the dark on something. This is really counting your chickens before your eggs hatch. All of these things. It's also wishing and wanting for more than what you need to, or constantly wanting things is another way that I can see this. Having too many options, not knowing what you want, not knowing, or not being careful for what you wish for is another way that this card can play out as well. The fact that it's in reverse, it seems like things that you were hoping for, wishing for, dreaming for aren't exactly grounded yet, and the fact that it's in the reverse, it's like it could all just be going away. It could be dealing with a work partnership, possibly with a water sign, just because of what I'm seeing in this card. But that's the present situation. The second card that I pulled for you represents the past, and this is trying to decide between at least 2 options. Part of it may have involved traveling because this guy is checking out a globe right here. The 2 represents the Taurus ruled house of your money, values, self-esteem, earning ability. It's where the full moon is occurring in Taurus. For you, that's your 9th house. And it's funny because the 9th house covers long distance trips, and he's got a globe in his hand right there. It's just so funny how the symbology works out. The wands represent fire sign energy. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Sagittarius ruled house, or the Sagittarius house, is the 9th house, and that's the house of long distance trips, adventure, higher education, philosophy, religion, astrology, legal system matters, politics, the study of foreign languages, Also covers foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. Like you were having a difficult time deciding on one or the other, and one is favored. There's another one that isn't even being paid attention to back here, but I also see the wands always as a phallic symbol. Just, that's what it looks like to me. But that represents the past for you, is trying to make a decision, having a more predominant, a more favored one. But yeah. The next card that I pulled for you, this is the obstacle card. This is the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Five of Cups for me, well, the 5 represents the Leo ruled house of your children, your pleasure, your social life, your creations, creative ability, creative pursuits, creative endeavors. Also the house of romance, dating, and it's where you make your babies. The Five of Cups, for me, I saw myself in this card for so long. Being upset about everything that I'd lost in the house fire, not being thankful for my health and my life and the fact that I was still here, you know, those types of things. In the reverse, it could be that you may have sustained some sort of loss in some way that really has made you reevaluate things. The obstacle here is that you can't get over what you've lost, and you're not paying attention to what you have that could be right in front of you if you would just turn around and pay attention to it. Kind of like this. If you would just turn around and pay attention to it, you know what I mean? Because there's 2 cups right here. But this is also a grief card in reverse. It could be that you are dealing with a situation, possibly with a water sign. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, where the grief is sustained and prolonged in some way. And that's the obstacle. It's getting past that situation that caused the trauma, that caused the grief, that caused the hang up. The help in the situation, and it doesn't look like it would be much help, but we'll see what I get. The help in the situation is the Death card. Now, with the Tower and the Death card, people are probably going to be freaking out. Don't freak out. These are pictures on cards that can be broken down into many different things. Okay? Alright, the Death card is the 8th card of the Major Arcana. The 8 represents the Scorpio-ruled house of life, death, and rebirth. It covers your instincts. It covers your sexuality. It covers regeneration, transformation, and metamorphosis. It also covers other people's money. That's the 8th house, the numerology up here. The Death card is the Scorpio card, and it's about major transformation, and that can be an intense period. I mean, major transformation doesn't come without an action point, right? You know, this action point may have to initiate all of these other events so that major transformation occurs, because that's the only way that it could or would occur, that it wouldn't happen any other way. The sun is in Scorpio right now. That is the 3rd house for you, Virgo. That's your transportation, communication, short distance journeys, siblings, cousins, and neighbors. Just be careful when you're behind the wheel. Watch how you're speaking as well. You could be very short-tongued, very short-tempered. But the help here is that there is going to be a major transformation that comes about, and that's a good thing. Transformation is always good. Being stagnant is not a good thing. You can't sustain life in stagnant water. The final card that I received for you, and this is the possible outcome, is the King of Wands. And this guy is brave. He's courageous. He's strong. He's powerful. He's very willful. He's ready to get up and fight if he needs to. And he knows how to. I definitely think of Mars when I see this card as well. You know, the only... Well, Mercury's moving into the 4th house. You're going to have a lot of Sagittarius energy playing out towards the end of the month, and it could be making you feel fiery, which is not a bad thing. That can be a good thing for you, especially if you're trying to undertake this this major transformation. You're going to have to be assertive. You're going to have to be courageous. You're going to have to be brave, right? The King of Wands is representative of fire sign energy. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I apologize for the background noise. It's the weekend, and there are people who enjoy their motorcycles and the way that they sound when they echo through where I live. So they take particular pride in revving their engines. So I apologize. But the King of Wands is someone who is ready to stand up for themselves and ready to stand up for others if need be. And that's not a bad thing to be, Virgo. Now, I did the tarot math on this, added it all up, and it came to 38. 3 plus 8 is 11. And that is that's the house of Aquarius, and that's where Mars just moved into. Aquarius rules the 11th house, but for your chart, it's different. Aquarius, the house of Aquarius it governs the internet. It covers your friends. It covers the groups, the memberships, associations, and teams that you may be part of. It covers your future wishes, goals, and bucket list type dreams and those things. So yeah, this could also speak to the Aquarius part of you as well, going on the tarot math that I just pulled out for you. So let's move over to the Oracle cards, because you got some interesting stuff there that kind of speaks to what's going on here. The first card that you received is the Yin Yang Lever. And this could be a part of a major transformation, right? We just got finished having 11/11, which many people would consider to be the twin flame day. If you know what that is, great. If you don't, I'm not going to go into deep explanation on it. Because I think that that's a topic that's talked about too much on YouTube, personally. I can't help but notice this full moon in the background, and we're right on the cusp of it being time for this full supermoon in Taurus to occur. The 8 speaks to the Scorpio. Scorpio ruled house of life, death, rebirth, transformation, sexuality, with the yin yang lever. See, don't freak out every time you see those cards. It could mean many different things. But yeah, and also other people's money. This card in this deck, what it means to me when I see it is that what you're seeking is seeking you, kind of like law of attraction, power of attraction type thing. That you are powerfully attractive right now. And that it's only a matter of time of whatever it is that you are attracting will be there at your feet, really. It seems as though you're in a powerful point of manifestation. Deep, deep transformation. What are you attracting? That's a good question to ask you to help stimulate some growth for you. What are you attracting, Virgo? Think about it. Thoughts become things, right? What are you attracting? Marinate on that. The second card that I pulled for you is Falling. This is the 14th card of the Journey of Love Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. 1 plus 4 is 5, and that speaks to the Leo ruled house of creation, of your pleasure, of your social life, of your children, of romance, and where you fall in love and where you create your children. And in the book, this card talks about ripe peaches and how you have to, the only way that you can be a ripe peach is that you have to fall, you have to release. Well, that made me think of the Marilyn Monroe quote of, you can be the freshest, juiciest, biggest peach in the entire orchard, and there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't like peaches. So keep that in mind. Yes, you have to let go, you have to fall, you have to trust, but understand that even when you do all of that, you know, sometimes it's just not going to be somebody's preference. But this card represents to me that you are being invited into a divine union, and this union can be with a lover. Not for everyone, y'all. Don't go out there and be like, oh, well, she said. No. And you'll know. You'll be, I mean, you're an earth sign. You're very analytical. You've thought about this. You've thought about it a lot. Whatever it is that you're going through. You're very decisive as a sign. So, but you're being invited to this divine union. It could be a friendship. It could be a business partnership. It could just be a relationship that is only there to teach you a lesson. But regardless, now is the time to trust in that, because you need this lesson. You need this union. You need this partnership. It's for your betterment. It's going to initiate an action point for you that's going to create divine transformation in your world. And that this union is going to facilitate the path needed for your destiny. It is a time for you to trust. It's safe for you to trust. That you need to take a leap of faith and fall into the protected arms of love, and fall into the protected arms of grace, fall into the protected arms of this divine union and the plans that y'all are going to bring forth. So yeah, Virgo, that's what's going on for November. If you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart.